The Gauteng Health Department says it will respond to workers at the Bheki Mlangeni Hospital in Soweto, and this follows protests there this morning. There are several allegations which relate to corruption and nepotism which have since emerged, and Newzroom Afrika's Karinda Jagmohan has been speaking to those who say they were promised jobs and pointing fingers back at a local councillor. Karinda, good morning. There was a promise that some of the city officials would be on the scene. They would come to the hospital and give some explanations as to why we find ourselves, or those workers find themselves in the situation they do this morning. What's developed since we last spoke in the first hour?
Certainly, Iman. So the protest itself has died down, but the group of protesters, at least 17 of them, mostly women, are still outside the hospital waiting to speak to hospital management, and they also want to hear from the Provincial Health Department. We have spoken to the Provincial Health spokesperson, who is expected to be here by around midday to respond to the serious allegations of corruption and nepotism. And this issue is quite historic as well. On one side, you've got residents from the Jabulani area who say they were promised jobs by their local councillor at this hospital, and they worked here for the past 12 months, at least over a year essentially, under the guise that they would receive a permanent job, but they were not paid their salaries, just over 3,000 rand, and so they are owed monies, they say, from either the hospital or the councillor, whoever had the monies owed to them for the general work they did here. On the other side of this, Nehau is saying that this hospital needs to implement recommendations following a report that dates back 4 years ago. And it's quite a winding issue. I'd just like to take you back to 2020, when the allegations of irregularities emerged at the Bheki Mlangeni Hospital. At that time, immediately after that, the acting CEO was placed on precautionary suspension, and then an investigation was commissioned by the audit firm Open Waters at the cost of over 3 million rand. By 2022, the department said it had received the report but had not yet acted on the recommendations because of internal delays. They also said they would not release this report publicly because of the Poppy Act, but that same audit firm, Open Waters, has come under controversy as well. Just last week, a report was revealed that the Gauteng Social Development Department has acknowledged irregularly appointing the firm Open Waters at the end of 2023-24 financial year to investigate issues within that department at the cost of over 8 million rand. The same firm Open Waters was also investigating the irregularities in a 1 billion rand housing scandal in the Free State back when Ace Magashule was the premier at the time. So this firm itself, the audit firm Open Waters, has come under controversy, and now they are linked to essentially what is happening outside this hospital, where the Nehau shop stewards representing the workers on the ground are questioning why the recommendations of the report has not actually been implemented here. So it doesn't relate to the audit firm itself, but you just find that name Open Waters again here investigating what happened at the Bheki Mlangeni Hospital. Essentially also what Nehau shop stewards claim is that the recommendations have not been implemented, alleging that it's because it involves some particular role players in this hospital that are being protected. These are extremely serious allegations, and so that is why we are waiting on the health department to meet us here to respond to what is happening. Has those recommendations being implemented, and to what extent? Now, what will happen to the workers who are waiting for their money, who live in impoverished areas around this community as well? They are concerned, and so we're also reaching out to the city of Johannesburg, as all of these allegations seemingly also come down to one local councillor who promised a number of young women jobs here, permanent jobs, and they've not received their money. So stay with me. Around 12 o'clock, at least by 1 o'clock, I'd like to bring an update from what the health department has said, if they do come here on time.
Karinda Jagmohan, we look forward to that update, and it's just unthinkable. Some of the workers you spoke to a little bit earlier on not receiving salaries or payments for up to a year. How have they managed to survive up until now?